Hi ladies, and welcome to this week's 2-minute tips. We are talking all about managing vulval varicosities, which if you know what I'm talking about, you know that they are so uncomfortable. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, essentially it is when you get really swollen veins in your vulva. So down there in your pelvic floor area, it can feel very heavy, burning, painful, uncomfortable. Okay, so top 3 tips to manage these vulval varicosities. Number 1 is to avoid harm. And what I mean by that is to avoid excessive load through the pelvis, which you should be thinking of during pregnancy anyway. But we're talking things like constipation. You want to avoid straining on the toilet. Okay, so managing your constipation well so that you're not pushing and putting extra pressure on those vulval veins. Things like heavy lifting, if you've got toddlers at home, if you've got a strenuous, physical job, thinking about how you can modify your activities so that you're not doing a lot of heavy lifting during the day, because again, that's putting a lot of load down into your pelvic floor. Thinking of the sort of exercise that you're doing. Are you doing a lot of high intensity exercise? Are you doing plyometrics? Deep squats, weighted exercises, things where they could be putting more pressure through the pelvis than is necessary. Especially if you're doing an exercise and you notice it aggravates your vulva, you need to be really mindful. You need to stop and modify or completely eliminate that exercise depending on how bad your symptoms are. So number 1, avoid harm. So try and really reduce that pelvic load. Number 2, as much horizontal rest as you can. So it's impossible to avoid all pelvic load. We know that. You might be a mum of small children, or you just need to get about your day-to-day life, do your work. But if you can, try to have short snippets of horizontal rest throughout the day. And when I say horizontal rest, I mean lying down, left or right side, whatever is comfortable, taking all that weight off your veins just for 5 or 10 minutes, but try and do it a couple of times a day. So really break up being on your feet, having that load on your pelvis, break it up with small rests of horizontal rest throughout the day. And number 3, compression. You need some support in your vulva, ladies. So you can look at pregnancy support shorts or leggings, which really have like a good gusset vulva support. Or there's the wonderful V2 belt. You can go and Google that. It's not pretty, it's not terrible though, but it is really designed for the vulva. So it's like a strapped up belt that you wear, and it really helps to give support to that area. So that's a really important part. So avoid harm, lots of horizontal rest, and compression garments. I hope that helps. I'll see you all next week.